In the bottom left side, there is a red Terran. He's fighting for Shopify Rebellion. Let's see how he does here. It is Byun. Running off somewhere with that SCV. In the top right side, his opponent for today, it is going to be, first off, the blue Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gamers, Zest. I imagine we'll have the winners of the best of 5 duke it out between each other afterwards in another best of 5. That's how this usually goes. That's how it tends to go here at the Alpha X streets. I think this was an Alpha X. I'm not even sure if it was. Does seem like one. And let me see. I guess I could have asked about it. Wait, it should be here. Yeah. Into the Alpha X Super Series. Nice. Okay. Well, I didn't see this one. I think. Did I? I may have seen these ones. I doubt it. We'll just see what happens. Little reactor. Starting things off with. Still a safety zealot coming out of Zest right now. Seems to be quite secure. Byun is a player that will not be too afraid to throw his barracks down across the map. He likes to be a bit cheeky now and again. We like to see him be a little bit cheeky now and again. Another barracks straight away. Could be a 3 barracks play here, I'm imagining. At this moment in time. Stargate for Zest. Zest playing it very slowly, even though he did make that Zealot initially. He might start moving it across the map now that he has the Zealot as well. Seeing how he does have these units. No, he's still playing very defensively with them. Fair enough, fair enough. Wonder if that is... what he was kind of hoping for. Maybe he thought something else entirely. Did he do any scouting at all? He didn't. Okay, so that's probably the reason why. It's just like, you know what, it's okay to make that Zealot if I just have that probe mining all the time and I don't have to send it across to scout with. Something like this. I guess that makes sense to me. Oracle going to be the first participants of the Protoss that will be moving across the map here. Hoping to kill itself a couple of these SCVs. The Marines are pretty well spread out. He should have, you know, enough to fend off against the Oracle. If they're too spread out, though, that could still become a problem. But he's got 5 of them on each side. He's got 1 in the bunker there. I mean, that should be enough here. There we go, yeah. Moves it towards the other side. Gets 1 SCV. The Marines quite close together. Be able to, well, at least get it out of the SCV line. That is 1 SCV only in total going down. As Zest tries to take that 3rd base. Annoyance here for Byun. Has to resend another SCV over there. Get that factory producing. It's not delayed too much. 2 builds, we are sometimes seeing a lot more oracles coming out. This time we're sticking to 3. That's still a reasonable amount. And then straight afterwards we're going into a Twilight Council. Now, I imagine that it could actually be still a couple of things. It could be the charge, it could be the blink. I have seen both. Sometimes against Zerg we suddenly see a switch up into the Adept Glaives here as well. In all honesty, if you're up against this amount of Marines, depths with glaives might be pretty good. As long as you blink past the bunker. More, no. Gets zoned out of there again with his oracles. There's only 2 of them here. Did he lose one? He did lose one, yeah. Was deep in thought during that, I guess. Kinda missed it. There's the blink upgrade, +1 coming up as well. Being more of an annoyance. Doesn't look like he killed anything else. There was a pause, apparently. Right, there comes the attack now for Byun. Does have his +1. Still a little bit off of the completion. But that should be about done just when he's about to make contact. Unless if Zest moves far forwards, which is exactly what he does. That +1 not available just quite yet. As they come in once more, 14 seconds removed. But already doing a little bit of damage here. More than Zest was ready for at least. The reinforcements coming in. Oracle's trying as well to set apart the low HP Marines right now. Have a pretty good odds of doing so. 11 seconds until Blink is completed, but they don't need more Stalkers to go chase after those Marines. They are already killed off. New batch of bio does arrive, but it's too late to save the rest of the boys. They're all just pulps of green and red right now. That's about it. Stalkers here in the main base. Going to be enough, especially not being able to target fire one of the medevacks before the full unload. More Stalkers have to be warped in. The response out of the rest of the units, yeah, they are heading home right now. This is a valuable trade in a way for Byun. Those Stalkers do not come cheap, although he is going to lose his medevac as well. Those do not come cheap either. Together with the first initial push not going all too swell in his favor. Now the drop not being able to achieve too much. Starting to look a little bit bleak here for Byun. But then again, his economy is looking pretty swell actually. If he doesn't take too much damage in the upcoming future. He's still got a good shot. 6 SCVs go down. That is a bit of a bummer. I feel like that was absolutely necessary. 3 Widow Mines here on the field. Guess you do have to kind of spread out those units a little bit so that your oracles can't just bounce back and forth between a couple of bases. But still 6 SCVs. That is an awful lot. That's a full mule as well right now. Not too shabby at all. Colossi moments away from completing. They're about halfway from that production tab. As Byun once again will attempt to go for a big boost across the map with his 3 medevacs. A small patch of units remained here. Actually getting the Stalkers to be a bit dislocated. As one medevac still has to unload those units if he wants to make something happen here. Can't quite manage, trying to a little bit too much, getting the rest of the boys out there, and now this is just a slaughter. A lot of things going wrong for Byun in that moment. Even here, once again, just getting a little bit too I don't want to say overconfident, just maybe a bit too optimistic about what he can get away with, moving his medevacs back over those Stalkers. He's just losing more than he already had to. But then again, you know, he's in a situation where he might feel like he has to get away with more in order to have a good shot at this game still. Because now he's already kind of struggling against just the gateway units. And those Colossi are a part of the army composition now. 93 army supply for Zest, going over 100 actually, versus the 69 of Byun. It's going to be a rough fight. Okay, the EMPs are pretty good. SCVs are helping out a ton, as well as the infrastructure here, kind of messing with the AI of the Protoss, but that is 21 workers going down. Even if Byun now manages to win this fight, which I'm not entirely convinced will happen, we may still just lose because, well, the income here is going to be quite substantially larger for Zest. GG is called, as Byun has to tap out. Triple Rex play. It can be really good, but it's also at the same time potential lethal dose of damage if you don't manage to do any of your own. Which sounds weird, but it feels like it wants to take the opportunity of the timing window before the Protoss really establishes the more high tier units, right? The AoE splash damage units. Try to optimize your potential gain there in trades. But just hitting before those units can be a part of the mix. And if they are, well, there's not going to be a whole lot of them. And then there's going to be less gateway units as well, so you're in a pretty good shot there. Right, it's just one unit you got to try to target down. Usually. One or two. Maybe. Zealot going across the map this time around. I like that idea. I mean, you made it anyway, right? It's not going to be extremely valuable later down the line. So, you know what? Just send it across, see what you can get. The double marine here is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, now you know there's a double marine. You can just walk away again. If it was a Reaper, it would be a different case. But then you would keep the Reaper in the Terran base as well. Keep him from scouting. Allow you to get your Stalker out. Stalker having a look around as well. Checking for any proxy starports. That is always a very quick way to lose a game as a Protoss. But seemingly, again, the triple barracks going to be the option decided upon for Byun. Finds the Zealots here. Let's lose a Marine to him, so gives the heads up to Zest as well that this is coming along. Doesn't really make any shield batteries or anything of the sort. Just kind of makes another gateway. Continues probe production, and he's like, yeah, alright, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't need another pylon just quite yet. Let me make that later down the line. It's fine. Alright. It is very similar to the previous opening here. First Oracle with the 5 Marines on either side. No safety bunker this time though. Byun did skimp out on that one. Unless if he already salvaged it, but I don't think he did. He did not, no. Brings out the Stalkers, seeing the lack of that bunker. Perhaps being a big part of that. So there is a Marauder already. No upgrades really available for either side. This is just always so frustrating for the Terran to have to deal with. Marauder does a bit of a better job at it, but it's still a bit rough. It's definitely still a bit rough. I think he lost like 2 Marines there. Which doesn't sound like that much, but you know, if they keep doing that, if Zest manages to do that like 2 or 3 times, then suddenly you're at a 6 Marine loss. And 6 Marines, I mean, out of 21, you know, that is still quite a lot. Still a fourth of the total Marines. Getting 3 SCVs, not too shabby either. Oracle's heading back in as the Marines try to head out, so this could be a good moment for them. The natural base didn't have that missile turret just quite yet. It does now. They missed an opportunity, the 50-50 not going his way. Gambling that one. Reasonable force fields. Gets the Marauder, gets a couple of those juicy Marines once again. Now this attack doesn't look that intimidating anymore. Oracles will be able to spot the Marines passing by this area. As the sentries once again in a good spot. Not gonna utilize that ramp as much as I thought they might. Guess he only has the one force field actually available. Does not have anything else on these ones, does he? Let me click on it. There we go. Nope. That is not enough. Byun heads back out again. Definitely taking one on the chin moving out here. Getting that sentry is kind of nice. It's something, right? It's the one thing we can kind of point to now and be like, you know what, that's a value target he did slay, but... I mean, it cost him 1 Marauder, 12 Marines, as well as 6 SCVs in the back for, you know, evacuating his main base with his Marines there. So it is rough once more for Mr. Byun, although his army supply is still looking pretty good at the moment. 48 versus 35. Within that 35 of the Protoss is also, of course, those 3 Oracles, and they go down very quickly if mismanaged. To be fair, we're just having all the gateways of Zest finishing up here, so it's going to be a bit before the... well, it's, yeah, only a short time before that army supply of Zest is going to go up considerably. Off one finance here, actually, quite over on what he needs for supply. Maybe influencing the amount of stalkers he can walk in at this moment. Okay, see if it matters. A bit of mine to the ground. Looking okay. That's a little trap right there in front of the stalkers could be devastating if Mr. Byun is not careful. A very quick pull away as a reaction. Only 3 Marines getting caught. It does seem to be enough for Byun to reconsider now. That and the combination of the shoot battery overcharge being utilized. It's about to run out, so Byun recommits. This is going to be enough. Those... Ooh. And one Widow Mine not quite managing to get into the ground. I don't think this is going to work anymore for Byun, unfortunately. Let's take a look at how the trading went this time around. 800 gas lost here for Zest. Now that is still a little bit of a blow, losing the 4 sentries and Oracle, I guess. But, I mean, in his production, we're seeing the Colossi, so it doesn't seem like he's too far apart from where he would have liked to have been anyway. And once again, we're seeing so many minimal losses for Byun kind of stacked up throughout the game so far. Byun is a player that likes to play with his endurance in a way. He's a player that likes to... how do I put this correctly? He's a player that loves to be as efficient with his units as possible. It's one of his main priorities in the game, right? That's where he feels like that's where his edge is. That's where he wins the games. That's the impression I get of him, at least when I watch him play. So if he's not doing well in the trading, to me that is screaming like he is in a lot of trouble. Because that's usually how he manages to get his advantage. Army moving out forwards. I'm not entirely certain if Zest has to do this. He's gonna attempt it anyway, though. Observer getting shot out, so no more vision of that high ground. Byun actually sending his command center this way. It's a bit of a surprise. Sending those SCVs now as well. I guess he really wasn't anticipating Zest. Trying to make the committal up on top of this ramp. There's still a lot of sentry energy here as well, but they're struggling to get close enough to the infantry. He's just going to use them all for guarding his shield apparently. As Byun is tearing away the front army for the moment. His units are quite stacked up still though. Those Colossi are dealing immense amounts of AoE damage into all the bio units, and I think that in particular might be enough. 22 SCVs as well, already been gunned down. To be fair, the SCV and probe count was still remarkably close together. Zest is gonna lose his army here. Is he? Is he? Oh, apparently not. If he doesn't, I mean, this is GG. More zealots, he's just coming. He's just endlessly running in now. He's like, alright, well, I got you. I got you. You should GG right now. There it is. He's right. He's right. He knows what he's doing. GG. Zest takes the game 2-0. I like to see these two fight. Usually it feels like they're very close together in skill. Byun has been a bit on the falling off, though, I want to say. I don't know if that's fair to say, but maybe that's just my expectations kind of falling off a little bit for Byun, rather than his actual performance. He's starting to feel more like a Solar in a way, you know? He's really, really good, but he just doesn't seem to be getting the big results. Like, very often. Let me see, what's the last thing Solar won? Solar. Let's just drop him into the mix as well. So I do feel like I don't know enough. Gold Series Team Championships. Team. He's doing really good in the teams. But yeah, alright. Well, I guess you guys can kind of figure out what I mean with that. You know? He's good. Where are the titles to prove that he is, you know, absolutely one of the best? Third time, another Stargate. We did open up with the Reaper this time as well. Keeping the Zealots at bay. We'll have a non-333, or sorry, 333, a 3 barracks opening this time around as well. The 333 still has to be invented. Maybe if we have the economy game of StarCraft 2 ever changed in that way, we might be able to see the 333, but you know, they just haven't really been reading through my notes, I feel like. Oh. Oh. This could have been cute. This could have been really cool. But now, it's actually pretty bad. You know, that is one of those things where you're like, you know what? Byun, you're really smart, but that just didn't go your way, did it? Looking onto the Zealot, that is a big no-no in that situation. Needed to have that lock-on for the Oracle. Almost had it as well. Unfortunately, the Reaper saw the Oracle, but it didn't see the Reaper. Sorry, the Zealot. So yeah, that is understandable mistake to make. You don't really anticipate a Zealot at the 4-minute mark. Suddenly solo running across the map here. doesn't happen that often. And the fun thing as well is that Zest, after killing off the Cyclone, he's like, alright, well, that seems good. Let's just head back home right now with the Oracle, as it seems like you're making the Cyclones try and defend against my Oracles now. So yeah, does kind of feel like an admittal of Byun, where he's like, yeah, alright, those Oracles, they are definitely a problem. You are controlling them quite nicely. And if I get myself a couple of these Cyclones, maybe I'll be able to deal with it a little bit easier. He almost did. Guess he's avoiding the damage, and he is also managed to avoid Zest from making any other ones. Unless if that was Zest's plan initially, or right off the bat. I don't know if it was a response to seeing a Cyclone on the map. I feel like he would have gotten at least 2 if it was a response to that. Oh. Yeah, should have gotten 2. Should have gotten 2. He's now Oracle-less, which is the first time in this best of 5. And as well, we actually have a tied up units lost tab as well. 41 army supply versus the 21. No sentries here, so there won't be any little force field shenanigans. Another Cyclone shows up as well. Might be able to look into a Stalker. Ooh, turns around. Tries to go for a big drop play once again. I'm not entirely certain if that was necessary. I guess he saw the sentries there. Maybe that caused him to turn around. It's rough to say. Link is available, charges on the way. Was one about to be ready as well. Completely in vision, sees the full Stalkers there. Yes! Double the army supply. I feel like it should be a pretty good fight for him. Well, you get what you can in these situations. This is such a messy fight, man. What's he trying to get? Okay, well, he got the Cyber Core. That's something. Did he trade efficiently through that? Yeah, kind of. It looks like it. Didn't lose too much. Army supplies getting closer and closer together, though. Becoming harder and harder for Byun to really strike through with the bio forces, although Zest does seem to be mixing up a little bit more so now, going for Immortals rather than straight up into the double core side. They have felt like he needed a little bit of an extra buffer zone here to help protect him. Looking out. Okay, it's rough to say this Bioforce can kite quite well. As the Stalkers are struggling to really give chase enough. Turn around. It's a very scary battle. Glad Zest didn't blink forwards at any point in time there, but at the same time, maybe there was an opportunity for something more. Lucky break. Heading right into those units. We don't mind not getting anything there, I imagine. Not 0 kills. That's a lot of High Templar. That's a lot of High Templar that do not have Storm yet. Storm is about to be ready, but I'm not even sure if he has the energy for it. Just uses the feedback onto the Medivacs. The Medivacs now just empty in the sky. That's a big deal. Wants to get the Archons here and then maybe just dash out of there. Nice pickup micro though from Zest. Catches it in the War Prism. Keeps one of those Archons alive there. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Right in the nick of time. As things calm down once more. This is actually a pretty okay looking game for Byun so far. Let's take another look at the units lost tab. Look at that. Yes, he is trading favorably. He is on a reasonable supply now. What was that went down? I imagine maybe a Hellion. Seeing the corpse. Not sure why a Hellion was produced at this stage, but who knows. Does get the Widow Mine. Almost ready with this missile tower. Storms onto the SCVs. Another storm waiting for the army there, even. Quite well played by Zest. We just see a lot of Protoss zap all their storms over the SCVs as quickly as possible and then just head out of there. But no, he realizes that if I drop my High Templar here, you're gonna make a knee-jerk reaction. Send your army this way as well, and then as they're coming in, they're gonna get stormed too. Now, you won't kill anything necessarily, but you're still getting those medevacts lower on the energy. You're still making some panic appear, I suppose, as well, for whatever what that is worth on this level. Okay, good force fields. A bit surprised with how far away from his nexus he's walking. Where's he going? Waiting for another warping round? Alright. Does have that available now as Byun decides to back up once more. Adding in more Ghost into his arsenal. Already making those Vikings as well, regardless of Zest not having made any Colossi yet this game. I don't even think he has the tech for it. No, he doesn't. He's just purely on the Templar Archives. Ooh, that warp was very low. The 3 Vikings doing that job well. The one job that they kind of have still in this army composition. As Byun runs forwards, does manage to take a pretty good fight here. Loses 11 SCVs. Keeps the command center alive though. Really does a number on the Protoss forces. The army of Zest is going to take quite a bit of time before it's back up to snuff again. I guess the benefit of playing this gateway heavy styles that is a little bit easier and you can get your high value units back a lot quicker. Those High Templar can be constructed a lot sooner than Colossi or Disruptors, for example, would be able to. Nice little feedback into a Ghost. Don't see that too much. Archons are not going to be ready in time. And there we have it. A GG. Byun takes game number 3. Definitely more success for Byun incorporating that Cyclone. I don't know if that was the... I'm really curious to test his own mind games as well here. Or maybe not mind games, just overall the way he approaches this matchup. Like... Did he go High Templar because he didn't see the 3 racks opening, or is it more so he likes to do the quickly to Colossi production against the triple gateway open or the triple barracks opening? I am messing up my words a lot today, ain't I? The Nexus Command Center Hive hatchery with the thing. Oh well. But yeah, it makes me curious. Or was that more so a strategy from Zest where he's kind of experimenting with it, seeing whether or not it could work in a situation like this? And finding out that it didn't work as well as the other builds he was doing 2 times in a row. It seemed a lot more convincing on that part, for sure. Ooh. 2 boys very high up in the stealth skill tree. Not sure if it was on purpose or not, but it's gonna work out. Down goes the probe. Out goes the Reaper, that Stalker. Quite a dangerous threat when you're already half HP. Zealot not gonna get too much done as the command center is up on top of the high ground. The low ground will be secure. But Bro does fall here from the Reaper though. Oh, helps the Stalker out a little bit. Is that gonna be enough? No, misses one shot to really take him down. As a gateway will be warping in. Twilight Council the opener, this time around for Zest. So mixing it up once more. Curious as to why. You know, you have one build working out so well for him and then... Well, I guess you do have to mix it up now and again. You still have the two games remaining as well, right? So if this one doesn't work out, you still have the next one as well. How many gateways are we going up to? That's one, that's the Robo afterwards. This could be an aggressive blink attack, but would be anticipating more gateways to go down. Makes the sentry. It's the siege tank opening this time around for Byun. Be working out well for him. As long as he gets them in a good position. Double siege tank with marine push. Third base for Zest is going to be trying out the 6 o'clock. Sends a probe to see this attack coming in as soon as it can. With the help of that watchtower. So that is quite helpful for Zest right there. I don't know if he's just going to cancel it. Or if he's going to actually try to defend it here. I'm not sure if he has a good shot at it, but we'll see. Stimpack quite a ways off from completing. Those siege tanks, they just claim so much of this area. It's hard to imagine something really breaking this, but Zest is going to give it a good bash. Did hallucinate an Archon, and yeah, there we go. GG is cold. Curious. So now, suddenly, we are back at a starting position. It's tied up again, 2-2. Bottom right side, Mr. Zest from the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. Making his wall over there, just so you know. Top left side, a Blue Terran from Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. On his way for a reverse all sweep, potentially. That could be quite exciting for him. Zest, though, did mix up his builds a little bit from the first two. So it might be that he was just experimenting a little bit with the free games that he felt like he had. Or maybe he just felt like those builds should have as much odds, if not more odds. You know, you don't know what these players think of winning the game against Byun. I like to speculate on those things. It's just what's fascinating to me, you know? You can never really peer into another man's mind, but StarCraft 2 it does sometimes reveal what players were thinking about when they were doing it. Like this, for example, you know? This is curious. Setting up the Nexus on the gold base. Zest making this one already a little bit weirder. Might feel more comfortable cancelling his third base now if the push comes to shove. At the same time, to be fair, the push of Byun would be arriving a lot sooner if it does head towards the gold base. Would most likely be the prime target here for the Terran. It's not incredibly easily sieged, but you can kind of work your way there. You've got a ramp area here with the rocks to work with. If we are seeing siege tanks again, that is. Oh, we are seeing something entirely different from Byun once more as well. And for Widowmine drops. Oh, I like this. Just a quick recall, wants to get that gold base mining as quickly as possible. Twilight Council will be producing Blink here. Now it is quite difficult to have a sufficient amount of Stalkers on both bases in order to defend against Widowmine drops. We'll see how well Zest manages here. Takes a long time for them to walk back and forth, and well, not a lot of energy on those Nexi at the moment either. So a recall from one base to another, not gonna happen very likely here. Oh, it's already halfway done again. Let's see. Out they go, the first two in the medevac. Starting up a Raven as well. Don't see those too often in the TVP starting up. Were a bit more common not too long ago, but oh my. Yep, that is unfortunate for Mr. Byun. Still inside of vision everywhere he goes. Watchtower being quite crucial. Brings over the Marines also. I want to try to make a fight happen here. Needs to take out that pylon. Right, Marines do encounter the Stalkers here. They have the high ground. So I imagine he's going to try to stick around there. Does pick up one more Stalker here, as those Stalkers can shoot up the high ground quite nicely, can't they? Two more Stalkers here, by the way, are still anticipating some sort of a medevac movement, which is occurring. Oh my goodness, Zest! You maniac! You absolute maniac! He's taking the second gold base. That is ridiculous. Now, the Stalkers are unfortunately not in a good defensive position for the gold base probes, so the Widowmines will be arriving here. That being said, you know, this is still a pretty solid defense overall. Ooh, Widowmine gets back into the ground. It's only 3 probes, a bit of lost mining time. That is a solid defense there from Zest. It's pretty darn solid indeed. The Raven, 0 kills on it so far, struggles to find its way into the main base there. It seems like 2 Stalkers were, again, already there, ready to catch whatever was trying to head on over on that side. As Zest might just be able to just blink in. Really, I mean, the siege tank there is, you know, it's still a bit scary. The second siege tank does change the equation quite a bit as well. Man, he is starting to look quite terrifying on those Stalker numbers overall. There he goes. Summons a bunch of probes again. He's got the Terran on lockdown, nowhere for him to go. If he does set up a siege over here on this gold base, I imagine Zest is going to just run into the main base, right? It's not that a crucial base for you to keep. And I don't even think Byun is... Okay, no, he is aware of it. Losing the Raven. No bueno. No bueno at all. How long can you hold out against, you know, someone on 2 gold bases when you're on, you know, 2 regular bases? It's just a matter of time, right? Stalkers. Again, being a little bit cautious here. Maybe more so than they would have to be, but to be fair, once more, right, he is in a fantastic position. The longer the game goes on like this, the better it will be for him. Spotter pylon, you know, doing its job. Actually doing its job in a way where it's even cheaper for him to use it that way. As if he loses the probe as well. That's unfortunate. Medevac drops, trying to hide. Trying to be inconspicuous. So they are still here. Ooh, Zest. Is he gonna go for it? Doesn't look like it. Another drop. Well, either these medevacs or this medevac right here will have to do something quite extraordinary. And Zest actually decides to make the move into the natural base this time around. I don't know if this was the time to do it though. Looks like there were better opportunities before. Oh man, that is so rough. The stalkers absolutely everywhere. They're just everywhere. This is such a great game by Zest. This is very well done. He's got so much map awareness. He's got the vision everywhere, right? Like which medevac or right, nothing arrived in his base without him knowing about it. Without him having like 10 seconds to prepare for it. It's pretty wild. Okay, sets up all those Widow Mines here. Double War Prism drop into the main base. A big medevac drop looking for retaliation here. Hoping to come into the main base of the zone as well. In time. Sets up. Another attack. Is that another attack coming in? Doesn't look like it. Well, actually. That's a lot of Zealots. And that's a lot of Widow Mines. This could go either way. Let's see how well he sends those Zealots in. Does he send them in one big clump, or does he kind of let them go free their own way? The position for the Zealots right now is pretty neat. He's got a lot of them behind the Stalkers still, so they will avoid clumping up absolutely massively. This is just going to continue off. There we go. That's most of those Widow Mines gone now as the rest of the Zealots do move forwards. There's no splash damage though whatsoever as the SCVs will stand tall again. Zest suddenly in a little bit of a pinch right now. Psionic Storm not quite ready. Will be ready now. Desperately needs to get a good one. As well as get as many of these Widow Mines as possible before they make their return. A reasonable storm right there, finding some targets. Stalkers realizing that the Marauders are low HP. Widow Mines still getting some value. SCVs once again have to be pulled, and there it is. GG is called. The gold bases really showing their power right there. Zest takes the first best of 5.